isn't about informing, it's about engaging, doing whatever, saying whatever, spinning whatever to keep you hooked and engaged. Why? The easiest way to get you hooked is to get you emotional, to get you angry, to get you scared, get you into fear, anger, outrage. Golden ticket to your attention. That way, you're not just watching, you are reacting. It's the aim here to keep you scrolling, to keep you hooked, to keep you arguing. The oldest play in the book, distract, divide, and conquer. We're divided, we're easier to control. When we're so fueled up with rage and anger and sadness, we are more quick to react rather than to think and meditate on what's the best option. Here's a bigger question here. Who benefits from this? Sometimes it's not about the news itself important, but more so the narrative, the public perception that they're trying to sow, the seed that they're trying to sow. When you're just there trying to relax and get your information or / entertainment, making you more susceptible, more like a sponge, not really paying attention to what seeds, what narratives are slowly being implemented in your whole thought process, in your whole belief system. Who is this for? Is it for the nefarious reptilian race to keep us in a state of emotional distress so they can feed off of our negative emotion? Is it just marketing us, making us insecure and making us so self-involved that we're willing to pay and buy anything in order to achieve the next level of fulfillment? Is it the shadow government trying to push and sway and get and pass instill more control, secretly implementing more control, slowly taking our rights away because we're so riddled with distractions that we don't even know what's really happening, each story giving a different narrative? This is nothing new. This has been happening. We can look back to the printing press and the aristocracy, okay? When even them looking and seeing, wow, we can influence and control the whole narrative of the masses by how we tell a story. So using that along with the fact that us as humans, we're social creatures. We have an innate desire to bond and to be in community with one another, to belong with one another. So is it really that hard to believe that there are some nefarious corporations, government entities that wish to take advantage of that and instead of build community and understanding, instead wish to divide us into different social groups that are so easily controlled? With these news cycles is always create and perpetuate this us versus them narrative, creating division, right? And within our divided groups, there is this constant exercising of conformity, right? In this group, we think like this, and people who don't think like us, they're in that group, and we think like this, so we do this, and we don't say this, and if you say or don't say this, then you can leave the group, and this creates fear, excluded, right? Fear of being ostracized, right? So they use that fear, and then on top of it, the news cycle is constantly perpetuating, peddling another scary, fear from, infuriating, angersome news story that's also amplifying it, right? So you are so desperate for a solution to get out of this irate state that you're more susceptible to whatever solution they're providing for you, not realizing that they're the ones that created the problem in the first place. So it's really insane how we try to use our devices, our social media, the news, everything for our benefit, to inform us, to entertain us, and yet it's actually using us in return, right? It's using us for our intel, for our information. What makes them mad? What makes them sad? What makes them happy, right? How do we control them? What gets them the most energized? What gets them to move and shake and jump when we say jump, right? They study us, right? And they use this information very intentionally against us. And we can see this time and time and time again, right? From World War I, World War II, it even came out in Project Mockingbird. We see that with the wars. We also see that with how to spin when there is an outbreak or a global issue, right? We saw this in 9/11, right? With the Iraq War. We saw this in 2016 with the election and how Facebook and Cambridge Analytica, foreign parties came forward and said, yes, we were studying people. We were seeing what got them emotionally in a fury, and then by that we were able to dictate what news articles to give them to further perpetuate their beliefs. Okay, so we have that in the 2016, then we have that in the 2020 pandemic, right? With the constant inundation of, you must do this, you must mask up, a new way of being, right? You must get injected, otherwise, you're a bad person and you're killing someone's grandma, right? They constantly use this fear, this us versus them. If you're a vax versus vax, left versus right, black versus white, there's so many different ways that they try to pigeon and pinhole people against each other, when in reality, most people are just trying to live. Most people are just trying to live a happy existence where they can live their own life. But yet, people are constantly being divided, having their beliefs shifted in such a way to have a distinct reaction, right? So yes, it's the marketing, right? Yeah, we can sell you, we can make you a great buyer, a great consumer, we can make your belief that your worth is attached to your physical looks, and now we just inundate your phone and your media with advertisements for the beauty products and the clothes and the this and the that, and you're gonna be a buyer because we've already shaped your belief to this, right? We know you're not going to like this candidate. We know you're not going to even hear about this candidate because the way we're shifting the information to you, that you are already primed to look this way, look that way. It is really scary if we think about the deeper implications that there is this media imperialism, right? Where you have these larger corporations, these larger government entities coming in and discerning and deciding what is going to be spun, what news is going to be put out there, how that news is going to be put out there, with the intention of, we want the public perception to be this, we want the reactions to be this, so therefore we're going to spin and give you this certain narrative of the story, right? And how we all, as the consumer, the individual on the other end, actually have to examine this and say, oh my God, another story is hitting me. Why? Who's spinning this? For what purpose? What's the narrative behind this? And what's the intention? And am I going to give into it? Am I going to give into the given narrative? Or am I going to actually take the time to critically think and assess what's going on here? I'm not just another pawn in their system. right? Because that's another aim of this too. Another aim is to keep us so distracted, so overwhelmed and inundated with so much information, there's literally no room to think for yourself. You constantly have so many others' opinions and so many others' crisis and so many others this and that you literally don't have the time, because you're so filled with others that you don't have the time to say, okay, what do I think? What am I thinking about this situation? Or what are my own beliefs, right? I've heard this person's belief, that person's belief, but what are my own? You know, it doesn't even give you the time and space to do that, so you can be an individual. It's okay. So we have some visitors with us. Okay, we got, hi. It's okay. Hi. We have some puppy visitors with us, so.
Or were they shape-shifting reptilian overlords there to distract me from my video? Let me know in the comments down below.
Strategic control of media manipulation, right? You have these dominant powers that take control of how the information is flowing, what information is flowing, and who it's flowing to, shaping narratives within the individual, and then coming up with justifiable actions to solve the problem that they very much created. Yeah, food for thought. Next time which will probably be very soon, you're inundated with your next news cycle, ask yourself, what's the aim of this really? What's the intention? Why is this news cycle hitting me? Information hitting me? What's the objective? Do I really believe this? Or is this part of a narrative, a larger narrative for another aim? I don't have to give in to this, right? So that's my thoughts on this. Let me know what you think down below.